Dragon Ball FighterZ, supers can define your character. Although spending 3 bars can lead to an incredible knockdown situation and massive damage, sometimes 1 bar is all it takes to change the tides of battle. Whether it's solid DHC synergy, above average damage, or busted OP potential, these supers stand head and shoulders above their competition. And when considering the best level 1s in Dragon Ball FighterZ, I made sure to reach out to the community, with over 5,000 of you polled. And by the way, if you'd like to make your voice heard for future video essays, subscribe here to this channel to gain access to my community tab, and follow me over on Twitter where I throw it to you almost every single day. Now, with the introduction out of the way and some very special help breaking down the roster, it's time to count down the top 10 best level 1 supers in Dragon Ball FighterZ. Hey, editing Dr. Blue here. Couple ground rules. While certain supers do have the ability to link into level 2 variants, we're judging these characters alone on the premise that you only have 1 bar to spend. Additionally, when labeling the most damaging supers in the game, I am always referring to their minimum scale damage as to account for DHC synergy. Okay, let's begin. Number 10, Teen Gohan. We're starting this list off with an absolute legend. By the time this video is said and done, we'll have covered some of the most damaging level 1s in the game, and when considering KO potential, this little guy stands above the crowd. His super is the 4th most damaging level 1, coming in at an insane 910 scaled damage, and when unscaled, it claims the number 1 spot at a staggering 2788. The only reason it's not higher in today's video essay is it can have faulty DHC from mid-screen if you mistime it, but that's hardly a reason to exclude it from today's top 10. Particularly when you consider his excellent synergy with high damaging level 3 supers like base Goku's. If you run the character, you'll attest to the pure clutch factor this super gives your team, undoubtedly proving it's among the best level 1 supers in Dragon Ball FighterZ. Number 9, Yamcha. Although Yamcha's level 1 is much lower on the damage spectrum, it's found itself in today's top 10 for one reason alone: its exceptional Oki. While routes may vary due to its manual potential, Yamcha's level 1 super gives him access to a coveted sliding knockdown. Although most level 1s allow the opponent to access a soft knockdown, Yamcha's can be aligned to access incredible Oki pressure and deny many wake-up options traditionally granted to his opponents. This allows him to go into his usual pressure mid-screen and continue to mix his opponents with his impressive cross-up options. While not counting towards his score, as this experiment is done with just 1 meter in mind, the additional follow-up level 3 when the resources are available are a considerable draw of the character, and paired with his amazing ability to DHC into other supers, it's a top-tier way to spend your meter. Yamcha remains a valuable choice for nearly every team, equipped with stellar assist options and fantastic corner Oki, proving that this level 1 is just the icing on the cake. Number 8, Tien Shinhan. Tien's been on somewhat of a meteoric rise in Season 3.5, and thanks to his multitude of buffs, this isn't the first time he's graced a top 10 tier list. Mains of the character will relish in his elevated status, as he's gone from a sleeper hit to a downright oppressive anchor with one of the best level 3s in the game. So it's no surprise that his level 1 damage is what's landed him on this list. At a stunning 2,400 raw and 1032 scaled, it's the 2nd highest in the roster. For this alone, he's worth considering on your team, yet the only reason he's not higher on this list is the unfortunate prerequisite of self-damage. Tien will lose 7.5% of his health every time this super is activated, and while I certainly don't think it's worth holding against the character, especially in sparking due to the damage reduction of only 375, it's enough to give pause to more cautious combatants. Luckily, Tien comes equipped with one of the better level 1 supers for DHC synergy, promising to never miss your opponent. Truly, if you think this level 1 is worth the price of admission, you'll be in safe hands with this fan favorite Z Warrior. Number 7, Master Roshi. Master Roshi's Mafuba isn't just one of his most iconic moves from the source material, it's actually his best level 1 super as well. Although he's equipped with a beautifully animated cane spin that can transform into a level 2 super for big damage, his Mafuba takes the cake for a multitude of reasons. First, it forces a snap out and can bring in any opponent of your choosing, and while they have access to manual timing, often a delayed Thundershock surprise can remove them from the air and allow for powerful follow-up extensions. While its damage is respectable already, many players forget that Roshi gains access to a damage buff if only one member of your opponent's team is left in play. The added buff does boost Roshi to the third most damaging character when his level 1 is scaled at an impressive 916 damage, a dramatic boost from its original mid-700s. Finally, while being among the most damaging and the most versatile level 1s in the game is certainly a boon in his corner, the true pleasure is found within the cinematic finish that follows when sealing your enemies away. Many Roshi mains will rejoice that they have the best hashtag in Dragon Ball FighterZ, allowing for a superb rallying cry for anyone brave enough to main this technical master. Number 6. Android 17. When polling the community, no character was vouched for more than the Tournament of Power champion Android 17. Upon research, I understand why. He comes equipped with two very strong level 1 options. First, his side switching in-game sits among the top 5 most damaging level 1s in the game, boasting incredible DHC potential as well. Yet while his barrier super does slightly less damage overall, in my opinion, it's his best, if not among the best level 1 supers in the roster. This level 1 is an invincible reversal in every sense of the term, and although its trajectory is set, it's one of the few moves in the game that can clash and outright beat other level 3s. That's right, for the price of 1 bar, you can call out your opponent's super attempt for a fraction of the cost, with unscaled damage as your payoff. Additionally, this move can be used to punish faulty staggers as well as stray super dashes, and this, on top of Android 17's recent Rekka buffs in Season 3.5, makes him an exceptionally attractive character for tech-savvy members of the community, and above all else, does justice to the savior of Universe 7. Number 5. UI Goku. By now, we all know that UI Goku is a problem, and while there are certain people in the community that say he's fair and balanced, it's worth contesting that he has some of the best level 1 supers in the game. Although his DHC super is fantastic in its own right, never missing due to its instant transmission properties to the opponent and decent damage of 750 scaled, it's his reversal level 1 that stands out amongst the pack. First, while the damage is average scaled at 771, when performed raw, it joins the elite ranks of above 2500 damage at a whopping 2659. And let's be honest, UI Goku mains, they're throwing this out raw. It's this fact, paired with its ability to chain into other supers while retaining frame 1 reversal properties, that skyrockets it into today's top 5. Alongside its ability to be activated after his unrestrained will wake-up option, its forced activation even off stray key blasts or assist calls makes it one of the primary reasons to main the character. While certainly a problem in its own right, it's restricted from higher slots due to its absurd negative frames upon whiff, guaranteeing a full combo punish if the opponent is wise enough to bait it. This, paired with its ability to DHC into other members of your team, grants him exceptionally high damage, and regardless of how you feel about the character, it's worth relenting that the developers had an exceptional field day when designing his moveset, and granted him one of the best level 1 supers in Dragon Ball FighterZ. Number 4. Blue Vegeta. Blue Vegeta's held level 1 super is one of the most satisfying to land in DBFZ. While Niagara Pummel has received its fair share of buffs over the seasons, thanks to Season 3.5's recent balance buff to Vegeta's Ki Blast, it's more useful than ever. A single special button can now lead to upwards of 45% of your opponent's life bar gone at the cost of 1 meter, an absurd return on investment unrivaled amongst the roster. Further, this super is unaffected by the double super scaling seen within the current iteration of the game, meaning if you achieve access to your sliding knockdown post-extension, you can follow up with either Vegeta's more damaging level 1, or dump up to 6 bars in one combo with his level 5 super. Really, this level 1 is one of the most useful and specialized in the game, and thanks to his recent popularity, it's shown the proper respect it deserves. Paired with his off-the-wall combo ability, incredible ease of use, strong Rekka series, outstanding damage output, and extremely versatile playstyle, Vegeta Blue is finally looking like a complete package. Number 3. The Hell Zone Supers. This category is a 3-for-1 special, as the Hell Zone super derived from Piccolo's Barrage of Ki Blast is shared additionally by Kefla and Zamasu. While Piccolo's might be the most famous of the batch, we're here to analyze which offers the strongest bang for your buck by comparing their hit stun, block stun, combo potential, and visual noise. While every one of these supers bypasses double super scaling, it's important to note that Piccolo's has the most damage, just barely surpassing Kefla's at a minimal 624 upon hit. Yet, while damage might not be the deciding factor between the three, Oki certainly is. Surely, each of these shine brightest in the corner, yet it's worth mentioning that Kefla owns perhaps the dullest of the bunch, offering the least amount of block stun at only 52 frames, and being incredibly easy to guard cancel, although baitable, and even easier to reflect. Piccolo's follows suit here with only 70 frames of true block stun and falling prey to the same reflectable deficit shared by Kefla. Additionally, both of these moves received a direct nerf to their mix-up game in Season 3.5, as upon deflection, they lose all of their visual noise, exposing both characters' gambit for heightened reaction time from their opponents. Yet, this is where Zamasu pulls ahead. It completely blows both out of the water and block stun with 116 frames, as well as being exceptionally impervious to guard cancel thanks to its extremely high amounts of activity. Additionally, this move retains all of its visual noise upon reflection, allowing Zamasu to set up his medium orbs and continue his very impressive block strings filled with high-low mix-ups and anti-reflect-proof setups. In terms of combo abilities, Zamasu can mirror Piccolo in his ability to convert post-super for sliding knockdown with Dragon Rush, and emerges leagues ahead in terms of hit stun with an active 134 frames of advantage over the mere 78 and 81 of Kefla and Piccolo. Truly, the only thing holding me back from declaring Blades of Judgment the best Hellzone super is the fact that it's all Zamasu has left in Season 3.5. Although his data is superior and his mix is strong, it's unfortunately attached to a character in need of assistance, where a more complete character like Piccolo can take full advantage of this amazing mechanic as just another extension of his already impressive toolset. Regardless, mains of all three characters have found creative ways to work around their weaknesses, and if you're considering the best level 1s in the game, you'd be far off to overlook the pure oppression and versatility this super provides. Now, before we get into our final two, I'd like to bring up some honorable mentions. While characters like Kid Buu have unique DHC synergy, his overall damage wasn't enough to include him in today's video essay, and while characters like Vegeta Blue do rank within the top 10 most damaging level 1s, he's been slightly beaten out by other supers that offer better versatility. Finally, while I agree that Gogeta has some of the best looking level 1 supers that offer respectable damage and easy conversions, I'd like to focus our attention primarily on these next characters that stand out for a plethora of reasons. The first? DBS Broly. Being one of the most popular characters in Dragon Ball FighterZ, it is no surprise that Super Broly mains will attest to his strengths in almost every category. Although I initially overlooked his level 1 DP reversal Meteor Shower for its insanely unsafe negative frames when baited, there are specific setups that qualify it as a pseudo Hellzone super in terms of Oki pressure. Before we go any further, I'd like to give a shout out to my friend A God Named Fleet, a longtime contributor to the channel who offers excellent DBS Broly breakdowns on his channel, which I'll link in the description down below if you're trying to master the character. As for Fleet's instructions, ending your combo strings with Broly's anti-air command grab will allow for solid setups that not only do damage, but force your opponent into a blocking situation that is anti-mash and reflect-proof. By simply dashing forward, DBS Broly can bait all reversal attempts while taking advantage of his very strong 48 frames of block stun to either go high, activate his stomps low, or mix and blend with his variety of command grabs. Either way, if this move is used safely, it's a contender for the best level 1 in the game. It'll just be up to the player to resist the urge to go full Unga Bunga with this Raging Saiyan, because in the right hands, he's an absolute unit. And now, Jiren. Jiren is blessed with one of the top 10 most damaging level 1s in DBFZ. His Colossal Uppercut does a fantastic 888 damage when scaled and a destructive 2400 if landed raw. Because damage alone isn't enough to land him on this list, it is worth mentioning that he does have unique synergy with other supers in the game, particularly Base Goku's Spirit Bomb level 3. Unfortunately, this isn't Jiren's DHC super, so it'll have to be activated when he's already on the field. However, because both of his level 1s do above average damage, I consider this a shining spot of the character, and a definite blessing to all Jiren enthusiasts. Next, Adult Gohan. And by now, we've established Adult Gohan as a favorite of the channel, simply because of his underdog aesthetic. Once considered among the best in the game, the Season 3 removal of Snap Oki indirectly harmed the character's appeal. Yet, when considering strong DHC synergy and the install his potential Unleashed Level 1 Super provides to his toolset, it'd be a sin not to include him in today's list. For the cost of 1 bar, Adult Gohan gains access to his 5-stringed auto combo with a solid reset button nestled into his 4th strike. Additionally, he achieves a further level of air mobility with buff combo enders, perfect for follow-up supers. He needs some work in neutral, yet he's still very strong if you're willing to work with his quirks and invest time into this fan favorite. Finally, let's take some time considering Cooler and Z Broly. Cooler was included in many of the original drafts of today's top 10 due to his sky-high KO potential. When all is said and done, Cooler's DHC Super is among the strongest in the game, coming in at a staggering 908 damage when scaled. While also sharing very solid DHC synergy with most of the cast, he was relegated to an honorable mention simply due to Teen Gohan's staggering unscaled damage and slightly more minimal damage at 910. As for Z Broly, his level 1 options are powerhouses of their own. His held level 1 does respectable damage at above 800 when scaled, and further sets up some really wacky options with other members of the roster. And when considering his alternative level 1, it's fantastic for finishing off the opponent, keeping him blessed as the mid spot on my own personal team. Both characters are very strong contenders for today's top 10, so it's no surprise that they make today's honorable mentions with ease. And now, number 2. Base Goku. Base Goku's Kaioken Super is perhaps the most unique in the game, not only boasting sky-high damage output and great corner carry, but exceptional mix-up potential as well. In Ren Senpai's data, linked in the description down below, you'll notice that Base Goku's Kaioken occupies 2 spots within the top 5 most damaging level 1 supers. This is due to the damage install he receives when members of your team get defeated. With 1 character down, he gains access to Kaioken times 3 with a staggering minimum damage of 1008, rivaled only by Tien's by the way, but perhaps with more versatility overall. His times 3 power-up gives him access to 5 separate inputs, each with built-in mix-up properties if thrown out Unga Bunga style, like every Twitter meme seems to suggest. You can go high, you can go low, you can cross up high, you can even throw in a command grab for good measure. And while there are spots in each string that can be vanished, if your opponent lacks meter, even the best defensive players in the world will collapse under this offensive gauntlet. Finally, when sitting as the last remaining character on your team, Base Goku gains access to his Kaioken times 20 with an absolutely mind-blowing amount of 1224 minimum damage. If Unga Bunga, this move can do 2782 damage raw, and this isn't even counting the follow-up level 2 potential, which comes close to rivaling some level 3s at a max damage of 3422. And on top of all that damage, he gains access to a 7-input string, practically forcing you to waste a meter on Vanish or pop Spark prematurely to escape his mix-up options. All of this, on top of its guaranteed corner carry, makes it one of the best return on investments in the entire game. It's an incredibly beginner-friendly super with a surprising layer of depth, and depending on who you ask, could be considered the best level 1 super Dragon Ball FighterZ has to offer. And now number 1, Gotenks. Now, the recent buffs to Gotenks in Season 3.5 have completely renewed interest in the character, but it's important to remember that his Ghost Oki has always been really strong. So instead of breaking it down myself, I'm bringing in the expert. You might know our next guest for his recent appearances on popular channels like Lord Knight and even Hook Gang God, for his popular Gogeta, Gotenks, and Z Broly play. But it's important to remember that he's a decorated veteran of the FGC with multiple tournament wins across a varying array of impressive games. So without further delay, let's let TheCoolKid93 break down why he thinks Gotenks Ghost Oki is the best level 1 super in Dragon Ball FighterZ. Cool Kid.
Gotenks Ghost Oki is honestly the best Oki in the game, hands down. Ghost Oki, gives Gotenks reliable pressure and 50-50s without having to really be dependent on assists. So it's 2 ways you can set up Ghost Oki. The first way is not necessarily bad, but it gives the opponent the option to try to vanish afterwards, which is do a full combo, then you backdash. So as you can see there, you still plus enough that you can 2H the opponent if they decide to vanish. The more optimal way to do it, you know, times when they do have meter, is to just do a combo and then jump back JH. You'll be able to use your ghost afterwards to, you know, see like that, and then you can set up a combo, you know, do whatever you want. One of the amazing things about Ghost is that it regenerates your assists. Ghost Oki, what it does is, you know, once you do this here, you set up your Ghost, you know, set up your 50-50s. As you can see, my assist is coming back. Not too many characters, if any, I don't think, you know, can do that like Gotenks can. Everybody always talk about certain characters need, you know, super dash mix and, you know, things like that. You know, the good thing is the homie Gotenks gets super dash mix with Ghost all by itself. So you can do something like this. Go low, or, you know, of course you can go high. Another thing I love about Ghost Oki is that it really gives Gotenks kinda, I consider, hard to see mix. What makes the Ghost hard to see, in my opinion, is the explosion effect. It makes it hard to see what Gotenks is doing. Plus, Gotenks already being small as is, so, you know, it's hard to see kinda, you know, if he going high or going low. See, he can get extensions like that, or my favorite one to do is the Dragon Rush. So you can just do, you know, call in your ghosts and then do Dragon Rush, and the opponent won't expect it because they waiting for that final ghost to hit, and then you just go in for a Dragon Rush. It's your world. Ghost Oki does everything. It's the best super in the game, in my opinion. Best Oki, best everything.
And that's our list. A huge thank you to Cool Kid for dropping by the channel and explaining why Gotenks is so exceptionally strong. And if you're interested in learning that character and others, I'll link his channel in the description down below for some fantastic in-depth guides. Additionally, a huge thank you to Ren Senpai for once again providing the data used in today's video essay free of charge. Now, if you'd like to support him in all he does, I'll link his Excel file in the description down below so you can not only do your own research, but it'll link you to his Patreon, where you can contribute back to someone who makes our scene so fantastic. Further, if you enjoyed today's video essay, be sure to drop a like and join our growing community by subscribing to our channel as we vastly approach 10,000 subscribers. Seriously, this channel would not be the same without you guys. I appreciate you very much. And remember, I have been the Dr. Blue. You are incredible. Yeah, that's all I got. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.